Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Bob Walters with Brett Grasso. This is New York Knicks pregame show, Game 3. Knicks on the ropes, backs against the wall, down 0-2 in enemy territory. Brett, how we doing? Are we gonna stay the chance? Is this pointless to even do this show, or what's the story here? Welcome to the show.
I'm not doing well. If that's I don't. This is terrible, man. And it's not about being down 0-2. It's about where they were. To be at that moment in Game 1, to be 3 minutes away from taking a 1-0 lead, and just, and knowing what that is. Doesn't mean much beyond you have that Game 1 in your pocket. The steep decline from that point has been so rough, and just getting the rug pulled out from everybody in New York, and the fact that nobody wants to talk about it. Or nobody wants to turn on the TV.
The air's out of the
Nobody
balloon,
wants to turn on the TV in the morning and watch the news, the local news, all of it. And it sucks, to be honest with you. It sucks, but
you're down 0-2, right? You can't, you can't sit here and say with a straight face, oh, the Knicks are going to win this series. Just think of how good that we felt, and all the Knicks fans, everybody out there, think of how good you felt when it was 2-0 Knicks over Celtics. They won 2 games in Boston. You're coming back home. We're talking sweep. We're talking this is over. And then what happened? Then the Celtics won Game 3, and it kind of shifted. So the Knicks can get that shift back into their favor a little bit. They have to win tonight. I think it's good that they're out of New York. They play better on the road in these playoffs anyway, away from Madison Square Garden. I just think that getting away from all the hoopla and everything and the historic, that's a historic loss that they had in Game 1 of this series and they really only lost because Naismith, who averages 12 points a game, went off unconscious and scored 27 points or 24 points in the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. That's a historic playoff performance. And then in Game 2, they had them. They had them.
Siakam.
But they had him. But listen, the Knicks made a comeback of their own in Game 2. From 10 down with 2 minutes left, they cut it to 1, and there were 2 offensive rebounds that just killed them. That Indiana got that killed off another 20, 25 seconds, whatever it was, and that was it. But it's disheartening going on the road down 0-2. You really, the back's against the wall tonight. It's a Game 7 for you, like you were saying before. You can't lose tonight. You lose tonight and forget it. But if they win tonight, they might be back in it,
Yeah, no. I truly. Listen. This is a do or die game. You're going down 3-0. I don't believe you're going to win in 4 games versus. I don't think any team is winning 4 games versus any of the teams remaining in the playoffs. So if anybody goes down to, it's just this is tough competition. They're tight games. Let me tell you, I really believe the Knicks can win tonight. But if they win tonight, they were going to have something. Siakam is what keeps it. Halliburton didn't even have to put his shoes on. They didn't even have Halliburton put his sneakers on for game 2. And next thing you know, and when they needed him, he's like, oh, hold on 1 second. Let me just drain a couple threes, show you that I'm still around, and make it where they wouldn't even let the Knicks get back in that game at the end. And my God. I'm sorry, wait. Can we... and I did not listen. I was very busy at work all week after. What was your reaction to the look, the non-timeout, and the Jalen Brunson shot?
I'm okay with the not timeout because I think if you call the timeout, you let them set up their defense, which is a disadvantage to you. I can live with the no timeout. I actually like in that situation no timeout because you don't get them set up a foul because you're in the situation now where are they going to foul us, not let us take the 3? What do we do?
Yeah, you got the 30-foot. It's tough.
Pulling up for a quick 30-foot 3 there by Brunson, not what you want. Okay,
no.
I would have rather he go to the hole and go to the rim. They're not gonna touch you. They're gonna give you a free pass to the rim because they don't want to foul. That's their worst. That's their worst fear. They're gonna give you a quick layup, then you could just extend the game. He's not a good 3-point shooter. I don't know why they think. I know they want the ball in his hands in the last seconds for the last shot. But Brunson is not Curry out there. He's not a very good 3-point shooter.
No, you're right. He's not Curry. He's good when you get with some ball movement and an open look. When he makes some space, not in a forced, I'm going to make it from any point, I need to force a shot. And I think with the point if they had the right idea of let's get a good open look early, and try and get a rebound in case
that's
we
what?
miss.
That's a 30% shot, right? If he's
No,
lucky,
but
3 out of
the
10.
shot was a bad shot. No, but you're exactly right. The shot was an awful shot selection. So the point was like it was supposed to be he's supposed to, once the coverage comes to him, you got to pass that ball out to whoever it is to take that quick three.
I think he was afraid they were going to foul him and not let him take the three. But that's okay too if they want to foul him. If they want to foul me, that's fine. I'll hit the 2 free throws and play the game.
That. If he get a little extra shimmy and they were going to play that game, he might have been able to get up and get 3 out of that. Three shots.
Maybe.
So
they're usually pretty good with that. Yeah, these teams are pretty good with not fouling when you're shooting 3.
He didn't make the space for himself. He didn't take the right shot there. I know he was trying to get it off early and avoiding a foul and all this stuff, but it's just tough to watch that one.
I mean, listen, they played well down the stretch, and the Knicks should have been up way more in that game at halftime. I think it was like a 2-point game, but Brunson got him back in it. They were down 10. It was over. It seemed like it just felt over. Down 10, 2 minutes left. Brunson scores 7 quick points, a 3, and they're down. All of a sudden now it's down 2, and then they get it to 1, and the Pacers come down. They miss a shot. The Knicks can't get the rebound, and that killed them. And it happened one more time down the stretch again, where the 2 offensive rebounds by the Pacers killed the Knicks in that last minute, and it really killed their chances. And I didn't really think they were going to tie the game up, coming down 3 points down with Brunson with 10 seconds. And that's not the shot you want, though. He's not an excellent 3-point shooter. He's good at going to the rim. He's good at hitting these wild shots and falling away, and he makes things happen. He's great at the floater. A runner floater.
He's great at drawing attention, and part of it is, listen, if they choose, and if any NBA team in this playoff chooses that we're going to take away Brunson's job then is to facilitate and pass that ball to somebody else who's wide open, because there's only 5 guys playing 5 guys. So if 3 guys are near you, and I believe who it was, Karl Anthony Towns or whoever it was right next to him, that there's somebody else open. I know it might be across the thing. It might be that you're the guy and you want to say, oh, it should have. Everybody's gonna then, think, oh no, it should have been Brunson with the shot, and why didn't he take the last shot? Why did he pass? Everybody's gonna second guess everything. But when you know it's going to be Brunson, it makes it easy for them. They collapsed on Brunson. He's behind the defense. And like you said, okay, great. Maybe he's trying to get the ball off so he doesn't get fouled. He could have passed that ball off and there's a guy wide open. And now that's kind of his job. Like, if they leave him open, take the shot, Brunson. But he wasn't there. So I think...
Yeah, not just dribble over half court and pull up and shoot a 35-foot shot. That's not the shot.
It was just everybody. It didn't even get anything going. It didn't even start,
and when you see them do that, then that makes me think, okay, maybe we did need a timeout, right? To set up a play.
Oh no, let me trust me. If Tibbs knew that's exactly what was going to happen, he would have called timeout. If he thought not the result, but if he knew that shot was what was going to get jacked up at that moment, I don't think he was going to be too happy about it. Which you can even go look into. Back into that game when you look at him playing minutes for Campaign or for McBride at moments where all of a sudden Campaign's jacking balls up over to the top of the scoreboard, knocking down, the lights at the top of MSG.
Yeah.
And you can just see Tibbs ribbing his hair out.
And as positive and as crazy, Nick crazy that the New York City was just 5 days ago. And we're going to the finals and parades. Even Brett had mentioned something to me about doing a show at the parade, touching the money. We thought we're so positive and so sure of ourselves that now 4 days later, the air is out of the building. It's back to Juan Soto. It's back to, the Yankees, the Mets. It's just this is deflated everything that the Knicks have built up over the last month. Now, they can get it back with a win tonight. They can.
I was going to say, does it totally flip? Does this whole town go, oh, no, we're good with a win tonight? Like, and I'll even say this, a decisive win tonight. And I'm not talking about a blowout.
No, 10 points.
Yeah, where they just control the game and they don't, anything like that. Do you think does that make you feel better? Because right now, how do you feel?
You're back in the series. I don't think it's back to, we're going to win a championship like we were 4 or 5 days ago. Everybody in New York was ready to anoint the Knicks, the NBA champions, and we're talking about Brunson. Is he Walt Clyde? Slow down. We were only, and I said that we were only halfway there, but now it's kind of reality has hit your head in the side of the head, and you're like, okay, now we're down 0-2. Now it's over tonight if they lose. Right, this is their last stand. They have to win tonight, and if they win by 10, I don't think it's going to be like, okay, I think it's okay. We're back in the series. I can still see this going 6 or 7. I think it's good that they have Game 7 at the Garden in their back pocket, but now it's tough to get there. You have to win 4 out of 5 games to advance to the finals, and winning 4 out of 5, the Knicks don't do that. They haven't done that very often. Indiana is on par with talent as far as them. They play 9, 10, 11 players deep in their bench. The Knicks don't. When Knicks are now starting to panic, I think it's a panic move. They're already talking, we had talked about before we went on, a possible starting lineup change, possibly Hart out, Robinson in, and I think Robinson has earned minutes in crunch time, but he's not a starter that can play 35 minutes a game.
Well, they did. That's what happened. I think if you watch, you're like, oh my God, where Mitchell Robinson? Where did he go? Tibbs played him for 16 straight minutes in the first half. And granted, one of the best first half you're ever going to see from a big man in a Knicks uniform in playoffs. It was so nice to see. The problem is, it's Mitchell Robinson. And let me tell you, by the time the fourth quarter came around, whether it's not because he was exhausted or whatever the other reasons were, you're not going to get the same. And so we're going to start.
No, he gets
Mitchell
exposed.
Robinson
When he's out
today.
there too long, he gets exposed, and you see why.
Yes,
It's like the backup quarterback. He'll come on, have a great
course.
series or two, but eventually he gets exposed, and you see why he's a backup quarterback.
Right, and you have Josh Hart, who's the minutes leader of the NBA this year, who's now going to be starting off possibly on the bench. We don't know this. We're going to see as the game starts. I don't know if the lineups are, when they're coming out, but truthfully, I'd love to see more Mitchell Robinson. They're going to try and say, let's start off on a different foot. Let's try something different. I don't know what that's going to point out to be. I mean, I think it's going to be like anything. If they get into foul trouble and you watch Brunson get into foul trouble and Karl Anthony Towns get into foul trouble and, God forbid, Mitchell Robinson get into foul trouble, this game's a much different game because they don't have that depth like Indiana has. And that depth, they can just go to anybody. Halliburton didn't even touch the ball for till the second half. He was and all of a sudden they're just right on top of us.
I think that I've been saying forever, listen, Brunson, you got to just face it. Stop pretending like you're this big defensive team, okay? The reason they played good defense against the Celtics is because it's a different kind, and they don't get in too much foul trouble. The Celtics are basically coming down the court and just chucking up threes, right? It's a different kind of game. Yeah. The Pacers are going inside. They're drawing contact. They're going to cause fouls. If you're Brunson, now you're undersized. That's why you're not a good defender. He's got to just realize that. Listen, I'd much rather him give up an easy layup in the first or second quarter than get a foul and then be in foul trouble and have to sit for 4 minutes in the fourth quarter. You can't have that. They got lucky in game 1 where they blew the lead up with Brunson on the bench. That's not going to happen every night. Okay,
I'm telling you that I truly believe that moment got in Tibbs' head that, oh, look, we can have all these guys play well. And then all of a sudden you saw him in game 2 with Campaign out there, McBride out there and trying to run it. And then all of a sudden it didn't work. The balls getting knocked out of bounds. They're turning the ball over. They're shooting baskets off the shot clock. And I think that moment actually gave them Brunson he can take spells of being out of the game and we'll be fine.
Yeah. And game 1, I think, listen, the big turning point, game 1, the Knicks got second life after third life in game 1, right? They blew the lead. Naismith went off. All-time performance. Tip your cap to that. Okay, whatever. So, but then Halliburton hits the 3, right? Game over. Game over. They come running on the court. You got beat by a heartbreaking buzzer beater. He gives the choke sign. He's a little pointing at Reggie Miller.
That didn't
it's
happen
crazy.
after that happened there.
No, listen. If that happens, right? Game over. You lost. It's a heartbreaking loss, and then you get a second life. Toe was on the line. We're going to overtime. Now you make him pay for that choke sign. You score the first 2 buckets of overtime. You're up 4 points in overtime. It's only a 5-minute thing. And they blow another lead. They blow it again. They miss free throws.
In your hand, you're 2 scores up. You have the
with
ball
the ball
in
your
your
hands
under the hoop.
And you miss free throws, and you blow it.
And you go up, and you can't even put it in, and it should have been a foul maybe, or whatever it was. But give me a break.
Yeah, but there should have been a foul on Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin on the dunk, there should have been a foul.
No, I don't even care about that. It's more about putting it in the basket, to be honest with you. And it's about being physical. And honestly, if a guy puts up a choke sign in your house, you take him out.
And they got to know, listen.
In game 2.
Pointing at Reggie Miller, who's sitting there on television doing the game. Come on.
You throw a screen, and you take him out, and you take a big foul, and someone gets thrown out. Bring in one of your guys.
Or just
bring in
beat him.
Chua.
Listen, use that as motivation to beat him.
Take a guy out who you don't care if he gets taken out. Let's go. This is New York. Let's play some hard basketball.
Don't miss free throws.
I thought somebody was coming out was going to play some hard-nosed something versus Halliburton after I'm sorry. Where are we? Imagine you put up a choke sign versus Larry Johnson.
Yeah, no, it was
Charles Oakley.
Yeah, no, but I mean, and it has his,
Sick of
it obviously it's not just a choke sign. It has historical, connotations there.
Yes.
Now I get it; these guys, none of them were even alive probably when that thing happened. But you got to know about it, right? You got to know about the Reggie Miller choke sign if you're on the Knicks or you're on the Pacers. And he knew about it. Halliburton knew damn well what it was because he pointed right at Reggie Miller as he put up the choke sign. And and I'm not even suggesting like you want to take him out, like you want to put a hit on him. I'm just saying. Use that as motivation to beat him.
Show him you're there. Hard fouls.
How about just hitting your free throws? Free throws are killer. It kills me. I get so frustrated when these guys miss free throws. You're a professional.
Like, listen, you get in his face. You shove him on the ground. You say you don't put up chokes on. This is like Terrell Owens standing on the star.
On the star. Yep. Same thing. It would be like somebody today doing that. Miller
in the Garden after you just bounced one in. Versus the Knicks, and you're choking there. That's Reggie. That's some bad stuff, man. I'm sorry. That's as bad as you're gonna see. And if the Knicks responded, no, listen. If the Knicks responded with something, I'm talking somebody.
Well, they just beat him. How about they beat him?
No,
he lost. He gave him the choke sign, and they lost.
But they needed to take back the story and the momentum, and they didn't. And you're right. In overtime, that was the place to do it. But after that happened, and they lose. Game 2 early needs to be somebody coming out being physical, and none of that happened. And that's where I was surprised. You lost the game. Once it was over, you get to think about it. And everybody played that choke for 2 days. 2 days of the choke. I wouldn't know because I'm not opening social media.
Yeah.
And because I'm not watching SportsCenter. And I can't do it. But guess what? Every Knick saw that. And you're telling me they didn't come out and run him over? I got a problem with
something. And then to lose games. I mean, listen, now you have nothing to say. You can't, I don't even know if you could say anything in game or do anything in game 2 because you lost. You had a second life. His foot was on the line. The game was over, right? They came storming under the court, buzzer beater. Oh my God, we blew the lead. He hit a shot that never goes in. When does it ever hit the back of the iron, go 8 feet in the air, and then through the hoop? It never happened.
And I scream. I'm at work. I'm in jail. I'm waiting because it's right at shift change. It's 11 o'clock. The ball clanks, and I go, yes. And it swishes, and I just lost. And I thought he made it like everybody in the world at that point. I thought it was a 3. I'm telling you, I didn't think they had a chance in hell of winning in overtime. I didn't think the Knicks had any chance.
No, and then they score the first 2 buckets then they're up 4 with the ball, and I think that's a bigger collapse. That's a bigger collapse than the 14 points in regulation.
But it's hard to lose in overtime when you go up by those 2 scores because there's a lot less time than people realize.
Yeah, 5 minutes goes by real fast.
It's a blink of an eye, and it's 2 minutes and 50 seconds left, and you're up 2 scores, and you can hold those possessions if you play it right. You know what I mean? Like you're still playing regular basketball. And let me tell you, that third possession was the killer. The Knicks win that game if they can put that bucket in on that third possession. They go up 3 scores. That flips on the other way around to the Halliburton bucket that turns into a 1-point Knick lead. And they never looked. And after that, it was. I'm sorry, that was just. This whole series flips.
Are you glad? Because we were this close. Are you glad we don't have flights for Game 6 to Indianapolis?
No, I'm not. I'm not glad. I'm glad. I would have been mad if we.
But we were close. We were this close.
No,
if the tickets didn't go up, we would have getting them.
The flights wouldn't have changed. I would have been mad if we bought tickets for the game. Because the game tickets...
You get the money back. You get that money back. You don't get the flight back.
No.
You get the money back on the tickets. You get the flight back.
You more mad that if we went to there isn't a Game 6 or that it's like a pointless Game 6? Like,
I'm
it's
mad
not
being stuck with a round-trip ticket to Indianapolis and the Knicks losing 5.
No, there's not
I can get the money for the tickets back. Whatever, the $300 or whatever, I get that money back, no problem. But I'm stuck with a round-trip flight to Indianapolis. Do we go anyway? Like, do we go anyway and just go out and drink beers or something?
No, we go to Ursay's funeral. And we report live.
Oh, yeah. You know, Ursay, I was listening.
That's off the top of the head.
Come on, that's good. That's good. Yeah, and you know what he's got? He's got like a collection of like memorabilia. You know what he owns, Brett? You know what he owns?
Yeah,
he owns, and I don't know how you get this. How do you get this? Ready? He owns the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
Who sold Who sold that?
It's not the. There's
no, it is. It's the original.
No, there's a few. No, stop with that.
What do you mean? There's a few. There's not few.
There's not. They didn't just have one and they were like, "This is the only one."
Yeah, but they did make copies.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, so it's a facsimile.
So there's like now. Imagine this. Now imagine the first print of the Declaration of Independence. This is the original of. There's only. I don't know the numbers now. I'm making this stuff up. There's the one that was handwritten, right?
Yeah.
And
that's
then
the only
there's
original.
Like the first. edition. No, that's not true because then there's like the first. There's 10 prints and that's it. That's the whatever it is. But he does not own the one that we have. Trump took it and put it up in the Oval Office.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He did, and he didn't know what it means. He's like, I don't know what it means.
He took it out of the spot where it was. I can't remember what the monument is.
You're right. It's in the Oval.
There's a monument in the city in Washington that had it there, and he was like, no. It's been there forever. He was like, get it out. And it's special UV lights, the whole deal. Like,
and he didn't know what it meant. He didn't know what it meant.
It's fading. It's like faded. Like you can't read parts of it. And so he's like, throw it on the wall. Sorry, no. Put it on the wall next to my tanning bed.
Put it on the wall.
Put it on the wall next to my tanning bed.
He also owns the drum that Ringo Starr played on the Ed Sullivan Show with the Beatles.
We're talking about Jim Irsay, just so you know.
Just so you know. It's not Nick's program.
No, I saw that.
Nick's pregame has gone off the rails.
No, and he owns Jerry Garcia's like special guitar, I believe, which is a big deal in the music world. I'm sorry, those deadheads and whatever.
Yeah, I guess
it's some kind of special zebra or something. Guitar going to get eaten a lot.
But you know what's funny is he was a drug addict. He was a junkie for a while, for a long time in his life. He was on and off, falling off the wagon, heroin, stuff like that. How close do you think he came to giving away some of that stuff for like being like, yo, I guess they always had money, but like,
no.
Do you think if it ever got bad where his family wouldn't give him money?
You're missing it. He always probably had money coming in every month at the end of the month, the trust. So he probably pawned it every month, all of it.
Oh, to get more money and then went and bought it back.
So he definitely at some point gave it all to the pawn shop. Like he was like
pawn shop with Jerry Garcia's guitar.
And he would bring the $40,000 trust payment to the pawn shop every month at the end of the month and get it back.
Okay,
and then it would be like, I need Jerry Garcia's guitar back, and the guy at the pawn shop would just rip and play Jerry Garcia's guitar
I'd be doing
all
that.
month.
Yeah, all month.
And we don't even know what we're doing. This is
okay. So it's not the Declaration of Independence. Okay, no, that because you're right. I did see the thing with Trump putting it up there, and I don't know why did they have 6? Like, who did they rewrite the copies or did they make copies? I mean, I know they had the printing press. They could have. They could have printed
the guys who signed it invented the things to print it to like make.
Yeah, I know.
Don't worry. I'm telling you, it's like they had actual jobs. They didn't pay us to be in government back then.
Now,
I gotta print the paper.
Now, Brent, are the Pacers just better than the Knicks? Are they a better team? They go 11 deep. We got all caught up in this thing. We forget the Knicks are an okay team. They don't beat anybody better than them all season. They had a great series against the Celtics. The Pacers were more impressive against Cleveland. Are the Pacers just a better team?
I think that these two teams are evenly matched up. I think that they match up a lot better versus the Knicks than a lot of other teams. And when we were getting into this series, and before we even knew who was coming, before we even knew, because the Knicks were up 2-0 and we started looking ahead to like Pacers or Cavs.
You were talking parade. You were talking where are we going to do our show for the parade?
No, but even before we knew who it was going to be, before the Knicks even were in there, but it was, do you want the Pacers or the Cavs? And everybody else was like, you want the Pacers? Oh my God, you want the Pacers? No way. I honestly was like, I didn't like the setup from last year. I think there's demons built into this series from long ago and from pretty recently last year that people are missing. And when you get into a player's head, the Knicks didn't have that with the Celtics. They missed those series with the Celtics. Now the Knicks are in the Celtics' heads for the future. But right now, and this will solidify that, because this team's going to be around as the Knicks try and advance through these playoffs in the future. This is in the Knicks' heads. Reggie Miller's on the freaking microphone every night. That one is its own thing that should not be even happening right now.
No. Reggie Miller's on TNT. He's going to ESPN next year. I mean, I'm sure he's going to follow.
Stand it. But we'll get into all that. But I truly believe that this is that they are perfectly evenly matched. I'm sorry, they have a lot of that stuff, but it's coaching. I'm seeing a guy get out coached. I'm watching teams get out coached in this series.
And that was one of my things I was going to ask you before. But now on the other end of the question I just asked, can you say should be 2-0 Knicks, right? That's 1 in a million game 1. Game 2, they should have been up bigger at halftime. They had a chance when they came back in the last 2 minutes. There was 2 bad offensive rebounds that they let the Pacers get in the final, like the minute and a half. Yeah. It could very, very easily be 2-0 Knicks.
Definitely could. It definitely could. If it was, I wouldn't there's never a point I don't think in these plays where I'm going to feel comfortable, even if the Knicks are up 3-0 on a series or how they had
with these comebacks. Look at these comebacks that we've watched just in the Knicks.
Exactly.
And it's happened in other series too.
And I feel like the Knicks aren't even comfortable in games until they're coming from behind, which is like its own mess up because you need to be able to distance yourself from teams when you get ahead and you know how to like put the hammer down. But I truly believe it should be 1-1. I think game one, maybe game two would have shaked out differently if Knicks didn't collapse in game one. So maybe that's different. You can say whatever you want about, how destiny works or whatever. But, I believe it should have been Knicks up game one. I think the Pacers were probably going to steal game two either way. And game one was the one where it never should have happened. It would never happen again if you did it. It's never happened before. And I think it's going to be the thing that may vault this Pacers team to the finals, which is something that I believe the Knicks would have been the team going if they just held on to game one.
Only 6 teams have ever come back from 0-2 down, period. Never happened down, blowing the first 2 games at home at Madison Square Garden. Because we can sit here all day and say the Knicks are better on the road, Knicks are better,
No, I don't think
deep trouble.
I think that changes series by series. And I don't think being good on the road translates. And I know Detroit was a very tough, place to play on the road. They actually said it was, oh my God, so hard. But
yeah,
I think Indiana is a real tough place. Those fans, and the history, I think plays into it.
They hate the Knicks. They hate the Knicks.
It is. So I actually, I don't think it's a good sign. I don't like playing on the road with the Knicks here, but I do believe that the Knicks can win these 2 games. And I think I believe the Knicks can win these 2 games. I want to see it before I believe it.
I mean, I guess you know what? Just the fact that they lost both of those games, though. But they lost both of those.
It's gonna feel good.
Stop with you. Stop.
We're coming home tied up.
I hate when you do this because then you're right. I sit here, you say that, and I go, "You're an idiot. What are you talking about?" And then they come back down 2-2, and I look like the idiot.
I think tonight works to just how you said, a Knick 10-point victory. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I do think they hold them all.
Listen, game one was easy for 46 minutes. Game one was easy. They were 15.
I think Cat, and I think you get a little bit of OG, and Mikal Bridges seemed to be hitting some shots in the last game. So that's the stuff where in game one they were still missing. I feel like if Mikal Bridges can make his shots, OG can take over. Brunson finally learns he just can't be the only guy on this team. Defense, man, Cat's been weak. Brunson's getting attacked when he's out there, man. It's been tough. Mitchell Robinson, cannot expect him to have a game like he had, right? Are we gonna get more Mitchell Robinson?
He's a rim protector that the Knicks don't have in their starting lineup. He is good on the rebounds. He's good at the rim. He is the big guy that they don't have because Cat's a big guy too. He's 7-footer, but he's an unconventional big guy. Shooting threes. He's young and he's terrible on defense. His footwork is terrible. Oh. But again, let Mitchell Robinson get the fouls that Cat would normally get. I'm okay with Mitchell Robinson getting into foul trouble, and if Cat and Brunson don't get into foul trouble, because like I said last time, Cat and Brunson are going to get an offensive foul each game, at least one or maybe 2. So you got to count that as 2 fouls. If you get one or two stupid reach-in fouls or hacking them going up for a layup in the first quarter, now you lose Brunson, Cat, maybe both during the fourth quarter for 5-6 minutes, and you can't afford to do that. The Knicks don't go 9 deep. There are guys on the Knicks who haven't played in 5 months, Brett. You don't even know their names sitting at the end of that bench.
I know.
Every single player gets into the game on Indiana, and that just keeps them fresh, and they keep turning it over and rolling. It's like they're playing hockey. They're rolling through lines, rolling 4 lines. The Knicks just don't do that. He wouldn't even take the guys out of 40 points in Game 6 against the Celtics. So you got to stay out of foul trouble. You got to stay off the bench. If that's the way you're going to play it, you got to do it. And you got to do it the right way. And let Mitchell Robinson come in and get those fouls. I'm okay with him playing the first quarter. Couple minutes, maybe picking up a foul or 2, maybe making a good block, maybe getting a couple rebounds. But you're going to need Hart in there to win this game. I think for the brunt of the minutes, I think you need Hart. He's a better player.
The starting lineup changes that much and whatever. It's not like all of a sudden this guy's it. It may be just a little bit of mentally how physically how you're starting the game with 2 big guys down low and trying to be a little bit more physical to start a game and keep them from running. Because that's what they want is, they really want to, they want those fouls to keep this game from that pace, that Indiana, not to say, Indiana pace, but they're keep running the court, running the floor, and you want them to, we'd rather slow this game down a little bit. So I think that might be a big part of it. But Josh Hart's been a spark plug, and even early in the series in Game 1 and Game 2, there's points where he was definitely making it shown, and even offensively.
And he's put together a couple 20, 25-point games. That's not his
so
game.
I
get
don't want
it.
to hear like this is taking Josh Hart out of the lineup is going to make us a better team. I don't see it like that at all. I feel like it's just who's getting minutes and when they're getting minutes. Is the big, difference in this game. And I think they're trying to keep Siakam from starting off hot like he did also, because that was a little bit out of control. Watching him, I don't know what the final numbers were for him, but it was like 19-35 or something crazy. But he was the only guy running in the first half. So you got to kind of shut down whoever that guy is. Problem is, like you said, they have so much depth. They can go in so many different directions.
I think the Knicks should run more. I think the Knicks should run more. I think this half-court offense for the Knicks where it's Brunson, dribble, and then he jukes, he passes it, someone hands it off to him at the top of the key with 15 seconds left in the shot clock, and then he just goes to the room. I don't like that. They stopped,
and even when they're on a run and they have it, and it could be, even if it's one guy battling against two, like you're supposed to take it physically, in there and see if you can draw the foul or go to the hoop. And they're not. They're stopping. They're turning around and waiting to pass out to the who's running up for a three.
Now,
it's never the go to the hoop and take the fouls. You want to get whoever into a little bit of foul trouble, especially like Siakam. You want him in foul trouble. If he's under the hoop, aim at him. Put your shoulder into his chest and see if you can draw some fouls. Yeah, great. Maybe you'll get an offensive foul or whatever.
Not if you're Brunson. Brunson and Towns
right.
don't listen to that advice. We don't need them in foul trouble, Brett. You don't need them in foul trouble.
No, you're right. And no, forget it. We're going to get the pointless cat, foul like on the ball late, where he's already got two at the
yeah, he's
going to
run somebody over on the
and he's going to get his third. Yeah, he takes his third. But
you can't have like Brunson. Like there was a game where Brunson and Towns had like 3 fouls in the first half. You can't have that.
No, you can. No, forget it. When Brunson had 5 fouls in the third quarter, it was trouble, man. That's the game.
Yeah, it's the game. Now I have our tickets for the Mets tonight, Brett. Should I use the Mets tickets and go to the game? The Mets are at 7. Knicks are at 8. I know I can watch the game at Citi Field. It's a relatively big Mets game, right?
It's a little cool out. Is there how big the Mets games get in May?
It's not that. No, you're right. But wouldn't it not be nice to get a series from the Dodgers?
How many?
The Phillies are 3 up on us now.
How many in your life? Ready? Late after Memorial Day games have there been for the Knicks? In your life.
In my life,
after
Memorial Day weekend or later?
Yeah.
Probably
in your
2 hands.
Memorable
Probably
life,
2 hands. Probably 2 hands. You had the 99.
Barely.
You had 94. You had 90.
I'll give you that.
2000, right? There's probably been 8 to 10.
All right. Well,
but I mean, there's thousands of Mets games. So you're right.
This is the game, Bob. This is the game.
I don't think I was leaning towards not going to the Mets. I was leaning towards not going, to be honest with you.
Yeah. No,
I asked you later before if you wanted to use the tickets.
Thinking about the Knicks and
go.
Watching on my phone, thinking about the Knicks the whole time it's just not even. Now you're right. If it's a blowout and you're like, oh, you're gonna know if like the Knicks are down 20 or whatever. In like the first, you're gonna be like,
but I don't want to be walking into the Mets game. No, first of all, I can't do that because the Mets game be over. Mets are at 7.
Like you got caught up in one of these where you walked out and didn't know what was really happening in the basketball game, right?
Walked out of the Mets.
I think you were walking out of the Mets game when you had Knicks.
Yeah, something like that. It wasn't this year. Was it this year?
Yeah.
Like during this run? Okay, yeah, because I've gone to a bunch
I was
of
like,
games.
Whoa! When you were like, what happened?
Yeah. Well, generally at these things, people are watching, right? You hear something that goes on. I saw a video the other day from the Giants were playing Monday night against the Redskins, right? And it was at Giants Stadium, and it was Monday night, and it was Game 7 of the World Series in 1986. And the Redskins are lining up for a third down, and the place goes crazy as Ray Knight hits a home run. I don't even know how they all knew. I guess they had it on the radio. Place goes crazy. Right, false start, 5-yard penalty for the Redskins. They go back, and like, because nobody knew what was going on. All of a sudden, 80,000 people just started going crazy because they were listening. And I'm like, if you're a Mets fan, how do you go to the Giants game in Game 7 of the World Series?
But what is it? You're right. If you're
you don't go. It's October.
But people do, but that's the thing. But now all of a sudden, the best seats of your life are being handed to you. Someone's like, here, just take them. 50-yard line,
I guess.
5 rows back. You've never been to a Giant. It used to be like little, it's not like
Giants. So it's a Super Bowl year for the Giants too.
Yeah, and so people just, were like, they take the opportunity and they go for it. Like, I just couldn't imagine, like, even for me, for the Knicks, like, I just wouldn't. It would be great. We can go to the Mets game and we can watch. And
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, I go to the Mets
game
game every night. I just
no, exactly.
I wanted to. I didn't go last night. I didn't go to the game the other night. Thank God. When in the rain, sit in the rain for 13 innings after that comeback. I saw people on the train when I was going to work, and I was like, oh, that's a rough one. I'm like, they
I was
stuck
on
it out.
Twitter
There's a lot
all
of
night
people.
because
They
people were
stuck
at
it
the
out.
game. There was some funny responses from people. They were like, we're all trauma bonding in the middle of it. It was Laura, who we had on the show, Almance. Like, I was laughing. She was so funny on Twitter during that.
Yeah.
She stuck it out.
Yeah, but she's at work. She's getting paid.
No, you know what the worst part was? The end. They had to wait to set up and do the fireworks show.
Oh yeah, I didn't know they had fireworks. I saw you wrote something on Twitter about the fireworks. I didn't know there was a fireworks that night. You can't stay for fireworks in the rain.
There's fireworks, 2 a.m.
And the City Field fireworks are good. If you've ever been to the City Field fireworks, they're good.
There is, but there's got to be
set them out in center field.
Noise ordinance, right? For 2 a.m. fireworks.
They let them slide. So, but I mean, listen.
What if they lost?
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna go to the Mets game. I may go. I may not. But back to the Knicks, Brett. Here we go. Who you got? Who you got tonight? Do the Knicks get back into the series? They climb their way back into the series.
Fireworks for the Knicks tonight. Fireworks for the Knicks tonight.
Who has the big game?
It's.
Or do you believe that they could realistically?
It's always going to be
Brunson.
We know what Brunson's going to be, but who's going to come out on top? You're going to see OG and Mikal Bridges have a more important offensive role in this game. I really
OG's been invisible all the first two games. No OG. OG's invisible.
I know, and I feel like Mikal Bridges is going to start making those mid-range ones. You know how he's been missing them early? He's going to be on early. Mikal Bridges is going to carry the Knicks to a nice 8, 9, 10-point victory in Indiana, putting pressure back on Indiana at home to win before we go back to New York. And then the next week got a tough game. Tough game 4. This is going to be a nice one tonight, though. Let's
see. They got to win 4 out of 5 to advance to the finals for a chance to lose to Oklahoma City. And, because that's what we're playing for here, Brett. Oklahoma City. I mean, I know Oklahoma City lost by 50 points yesterday, but let's be real. They're the best team left.
If the Knicks re-signed Hartenstein, what's this team's identity? What do they look like? Because he's really, come on, I don't know if you watch much of him.
Yeah. Randall's put together a couple triple-doubles, too.
Oh, no.
Randall has
if
been
anybody
fantastic.
knew Randall was going to be healthy and would have committed to, this team, maybe. But Hartenstein's got that ugly little shot. He's
Hartenstein's not
perfected
very
it this
good.
year.
He's not giving. Would you
No,
rather?
you haven't
Okay, well,
watched.
who would you rather have on the team
playing
right now? Hartenstein, ready? Out of these 3 players, Hartenstein, DiVincenzo, or Randall, you could have one of them place them on this team right now. Who do you want?
If you were inserting it to the guys we
just
have,
inserting it into who we
GM
have, an extra guy on the team, extra man on the roster.
I think
you want DiVincenzo. I think you've already said that. This team is missing DiVincenzo.
It's funny. You might not be wrong. That might not be the best guy to have, but truthfully, just based on attitude and what I think this team needs, it's Julius Randle.
Yeah, man. He never played like this in the playoffs for the Knicks. He's been incredible.
No, he did when he was healthy. When he was healthy, he's always fine. He was just never really healthy. When he had that wrist injury, it was over for him.
And he's not the number 1 guy there. He was the number 1 guy here. He can't be the number 1. He was the number 1. He's not good enough to be number 1 on your team, just like I don't think Brunson is. But that's why they got Towns to complement him and maybe take a little of the load off of Brunson. And listen, it's worked so far. They got them this far. They're down 2-0. No matter what happens, it's been a great season, a great run. But they could get themselves back into it tonight. 8 o'clock, TNT, Reggie Miller will be on the call, Brett. Reggie Miller, Kevin Harlan, and then whoever else they do the things with. But 8 o'clock, Knicks, Pacers, game number 3. Knicks trying to dig out of a 0-2 hole. Can they do it? Well, we're going to find out. Brett, anything to add?
Let's go Knicks. And you know what, Reggie? You're going to see what choke's all about when you go up 2-0. When you're up 2-0, when you lose the series and the Knicks go to the finals.
From the Brian Gunzel Studios, I'm Bob Walters. He's Brett Grosso. Thanks for watching, everybody. See ya.